The first week of March 2025 will forever be etched in blood in Syria's tormented history. What began as a seemingly localized clash on March 6th, an assault on a government convoy in Homs, spiraled into a horrific wave of sectarian violence. More than 1,000 killed in Syria, most of them civilians in sectarian violence. As of Sunday, March 9th, a gruesome tableau of carnage unfolded, primarily in the coastal provinces of Latakia and Tartus. The idyllic image of these coastal cities, once bastions of the Assad regime, was shattered by the echoes of gunfire and screams. The death toll from 2 days of clashes between Syrian security forces and loyalists of ousted President Bashar Assad and revenge killings that followed has risen to more than 1,000, a war monitoring group said Saturday, making it one of the deadliest acts of violence since Syria's conflict began 14 years ago. Alawite villages, nestled amidst the region's rolling hills, bore the brunt of the onslaught. Homes were reduced to smoldering ruins, their walls stained with the blood of innocents. As the death toll rises, though still disputed, paints a grim picture. Conservative estimates suggest over 1,000 souls perished in those 3 days of madness. Eyewitness accounts speak of summary executions, bodies desecrated and left to rot in the streets. The world watched in horror as images, some too gruesome to broadcast, surfaced on social media. Syria, a nation ravaged by years of civil war, was once again engulfed in the flames of sectarian hatred. To comprehend the ferocity unleashed upon the Alawites, one must delve into the labyrinthine tapestry of Syrian history and sectarian strife. The Alawites, an offshoot of Shia Islam, have long been a marginalized community in Syria. Their historical association with the Assad regime, which seized power in 1970, cast a long shadow. Hafez al-Assad, and later his son Bashar, stacked the government and security forces with Alawites, fueling resentment among the Sunni majority. This resentment, simmering for decades, found a deadly outlet in the chaos of the Syrian civil war. With the fall of Bashar al-Assad in December 2024, a power vacuum emerged. The Alawites, once shielded by the regime's iron fist, became easy targets for retribution. Their loyalty to the Assad family, real or perceived, marked them as enemies in the eyes of the ascendant jihadist forces. The massacres of March 2025 were not merely acts of random violence. They were the culmination of decades of suppressed rage, a brutal settling of scores fueled by religious intolerance and a thirst for revenge. While the full extent of their involvement is still under investigation, all evidence points to Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, as the main orchestrators of the March massacres. Born from the ashes of al-Qaeda in Syria, HTS had undergone a calculated transformation, rebranding themselves as champions of the Syrian people. This facade of moderation, however, crumbled under the weight of their actions. HTS harbors a deeply ingrained hatred for the Alawites, viewing them as heretics deserving of punishment. Their ideology, a toxic blend of Salafism and jihadism, sanctions violence against those deemed enemies of Islam. The attacks in Latakia and Tartus bore all the hallmarks of HTS's brutal tactics, meticulously planned, ruthlessly executed, and designed to instill maximum terror. The world watched in horror as videos surfaced online, showing masked men, their voices thick with hate, forcing Alawite captives to renounce their faith before being brutally murdered. The March massacres served as a chilling reminder of the very real threat HTS poses, not only to Syria but to the entire region. Their ideology, coupled with their growing military capabilities, makes them a force to be reckoned with, a potent symbol of the dangers of unchecked extremism. Echoes of atrocities, evidence, and documentation. The full horror of those blood-soaked days in March 2025 may never be fully grasped. Yet even as investigations continue, a chilling mosaic of evidence has emerged. Eyewitness accounts smuggled out of the besieged cities paint a harrowing picture of barbarity. One woman, her voice trembling with fear and grief, described witnessing her husband and sons dragged from their home by armed men. Their crime? Being Alawites. Their fate? A bullet to the back of the head, their bodies dumped in the street like common refuse. Social media, for all its flaws, became a repository of both truth and terror. Verified videos showed the aftermath of the massacres, mass graves overflowing with the dead, homes reduced to rubble, streets stained with blood. Unverified images, even more gruesome, circulated on encrypted channels, depicting acts of torture and humiliation that defied comprehension. The scale of the atrocities, the systematic targeting of civilians, the sheer savagery of the killings, all pointed to a calculated campaign of ethnic cleansing. The world, once again, was forced to confront the darkest recesses of human nature. At Andrea Shaffer.